My name is Romain, and I was born in Jamaica, in Vincent, St. Catherine to be precise. I am a painter or artist, if you want to call it. I paint in my free time. I try to pursue a business out of the same hobby that I have. It started off as a hobby, of course, because that was just something for me just to do, to express myself in a way that I normally don't express myself. I was always trying to find a way to how can I express myself in ways feel released, because that's all it really is, just release of emotion. I started painting about 3 years ago now. I was battling depression. I was at my lowest. I was like, I wanted to try something different. I heard of art therapy before, but I never understood it. But maybe I can just, try something. So I got a canvas, got some basic paint supplies, basic brushes, and I created this painting. I just remember as I was doing it, I was like, this feels kind of, free, and it's just like, it feels relaxing, kind of it's just like, this is just calm. It's like a sense of I'm just releasing these emotions on this canvas. I pick my colors, okay, maybe I'm feeling like this, maybe some reds, some beige, pick some blues, maybe I'm feeling a bit calm, or pick some the yellows. Just mixing the colors, just to mixing my emotions, then I put these emotions on the canvas. And that was my essential goal initially when I started, because I wanted to just release all these things that were just in my mind. I feel like I was just too much, I was holding in, because I wasn't one to really speak for my emotions a lot. I wasn't one to really, voice how I felt. And I kept a lot of things in. You can't keep things in for too long. So eventually I just exploded, and that's when I turned to painting. I was like, let me try putting them on the canvas. And I started doing it. Did it for a few years, and as you said, I've been on and off. I haven't really been as diligent as I can to my craft, because of course, you start doing something, you're like, okay, I'm good, but then you start thinking about damn, all the people are even better than me, so how can I compete with those people? It's now I'm trying to think about I'm not those people, I'm just doing it for me at this point, because that's what it is. And as I was going back to what I was saying about the whole idea of battling, the idea of work and just for fun hobby. I don't want to make it so work related. I just want to be just doing it, but to make it a business out of it, to actually do something, you have to make it more work and less of the actual hobby. And that's what makes it kind of I don't really have the time or patience to really be that whole work aspect. I'd rather just do it for fun. And if someone pays me, sure. I'm glad you find my heart wonderful enough that you want to buy something. I appreciate it. I've sold about 3 paintings. What? 3 or 4 paintings now since I've been doing it over the past 3 years. So to me, that's amazing. I'm grateful for those people who've actually bought it, because I never envisioned that people would actually want to buy my paints, because it's just, because when I see the emotion that I went through when I was doing that painting. I see the trauma that I was trying to battle when I was dealing with those paintings. So it was never a matter of this is not a popular thing for me. It's just me, doing what I want to do. What's the question again? My biggest motivation, it would come from a combination of Vincent van Gogh and a bit of Picasso. Those were 2 painters that I kind of grew up, I idolizing, because I like their idea of always, and that to me was just that idea, that concept was just just painting what you saw, that's your vision. To me, that was pretty inspirational. I like that idea, and I was this is what I'm doing with my painting. I'm trying to envision what I see, how I see my feelings, how I express myself in these paintings. This is how I see the world. And then, I've always tried to, emulate the art, of course, in my paintings. There's few that's similar, but I try to put my own, spin on it, my own, idea of what I wanted to paint. And I've learned about all the artists that have been going through the business. I've been seeing a lot of different painters, like Marcus Prime, and there's another guy I follow, but they all inspire me. But those 2 my real inspiration when I started painting, because they were I used to go to museums to see. I love going to the Picasso exhibits. They were really just this is what the man saw. He went through different periods of his life where he just I'm just painting, and he just was just letting things go. And it just makes me wonder, for him to paint these beautiful paintings, you always say that great art comes from a place of great sadness and pain. So it's what kind of pain could he be going through creating beautiful masterpieces? And it just makes you think about sadness is it's beautiful, it's not something you should feel bad about. It should be something that you embrace, emotions are what make you you. And these people that are able to translate those emotions onto a canvas and onto paintings, they're geniuses. I want to call them that. There's somebody that can really understand who they are, and understand that they can create what they can create with just sticks, stones, not understand, but just colors and just a bunch of brushes. Just the whole idea of thinking that they can create these things just from just paint paint brushes. Art alone is beautiful, you know, and that made me really want to, like, you know, try it, see what I can create. Back then I was into writing more because that was my art form of like expressing myself. I was trying to write. See, it's all just expressing myself, man. And the idea of being different is like one that's always been like haunted me, I guess I want to say, because like I've never fit into like any molds. I've never fit into like any idea of like what you're supposed to do. Like, I'm a Jamaican American who came from Jamaica when I was like 9 years old, and I was living in Connecticut, like pretty white area, Connecticut too. So I had to be a whole different person for that area in that time period. And then after that, I was there for like 4 or 5 years, and after that, I had to leave that whole environment after just adapting to come to the New York environment, and I have to adapt again. So it's like the whole idea of just being myself is never, or being like, you know, fit into like, you know, the mold standard what everyone else is doing. I can never do it because I'm always so adapting to my surroundings, and I can never, you know, just be what everyone else is. I have to just always change myself to adapt to what it is. And that's why the whole idea of like, you know, being different is like, for me, it's because I am different. I can't be what everyone else is doing. It just never felt right. It never felt good to just do whatever. Cause like, you know, following the crowd is cool, but like that never led me down any good paths in my past. So, you know, can't keep following the crowd. Just follow my own path. The biggest misconception is that, you know, it has to be good. Because painting is subjective. You paint something is what you see and it's what you envision. It didn't have to be good or bad, but it's your painting, it's your art. You know, people always go for like, oh, it's beautiful. Like, you know, someone can paint something that's, you know, beautifully done, like, you know, all the bone structure, the entire body, you know, colors are matched, perfectly picturesque, pristine. It can be so amazing, like, you know, ideal, like, you know, picture-like. And that looks good. But you could also look at someone who's created something that's totally different and abstract just from their entire imagination. And that could be like something totally different, something world-changing. And it's like, that's just, beauty is not to be older at the end of the day. It's like painting is what you see as beauty, what you see as impactful, like how is it going to touch you. Like, I'm sure this picture is great and it looks nice. For some people, that's what they want to see. But for other people, maybe they won't see something different. Maybe they won't see something, some color, they won't see some dragons, some stars, you know. So painting doesn't have to be good, it doesn't have to be bad. It's just paint. It's something that, you know, can be so subjective. It's just so free that you can do it and no one can judge you for it. Just like writing music or writing stories. It's all a form of expression at the end of the day. You know, it doesn't have to be good or bad, it just has to be what you feel. They didn't make it, you made it. Be proud. Don't feel bad. Someone tells you painting sucks, fuck them. As a painter or artist, I hate getting messy. I'm not a messy person. I can't. My station has to be neatly. Everything has to be organized. I don't like, and mostly because like I paint in my mom's house and she doesn't like any mess anyway. So I have to make sure everything is nice and orderly when I finish. No paint, there's no extra splashes. So I have to be on par. So for me, that's made me whole like I hate making mess. It's like my worst moment is always like, you know, when I get paint like on my clothes or something like that, because that's not coming off. And it annoys me, and it's just, well, it is what it is, you know, because, you know, that's what painters do. They get paint everywhere. You can't be a painter without getting messy. And the painting does get messy at time to time. I think in my soul it can. And I blame that on my mom. Because she's a neat freak so bad, because she, with so many weekends of just cleaning and just like, we have to stay, don't make a mess, and it's like, and like I enjoy just being sloppy sometimes, just because like, it's just like I don't have to be clean. And I think that's what I love about paint so much, because like I don't have to be clean, it doesn't have to be so uniform, it doesn't have to be neat, it can be what you want it to be. And that's one of my worst moments, probably getting a mess on my clothes. But the best moments though is like when I really get like a nice groove, because like for me painting, it's never comes from a place of like a standard strict format. I don't pre-plan. Sometimes I just like, you know, I'm just gonna paint what I feel. And like once I get into like a nice groove, that groove is like, okay. And I just start playing with that idea, and I just like, maybe if I do this, do that. And I like that. I feel like, you know, when I'm just like on the train of thought of just creating something that just popped in my head. I'm like, maybe if I just do some of this, add some more of this, and just like, that's always fun for me. I like that feeling of like when I'm painting, I can just like, you know, get like a nice train of thought, just like, you know, I'm just gonna create something. I'm gonna make this what I want it to be. And like, there's no one tell me I can't do what I want, you know. Put these colors here. I ain't gotta say no. I ain't gotta hold it back. I can mix these reds with these whites. Mix this purple with this yellow. Who cares? You know? I think that's what I love about it so much. It's just so free. No rules. Oh, now I'm kind of painting. You want to believe this idea about this painting I've created like this is something that you want. Like the idea of believing is what makes painting so good. You can believe in the idea like this could be a real thing, this could be an imaginative world, this could be reality that I'm gonna see. Or just these colors, like the way that you can see the strokes, all this, you know, the whole, it's all just like, you know, something like, you know, I did this. Well, like really, people just painting because they want to paint what they don't see, they paint the realities. But most people don't see that because they don't understand paint. They're painting, they just see like the colors, they see people like, you know, like abstract is the one thing people don't understand. Because one thing I like to do whenever I paint up, and I ask people like, what do you see? And I ask people this all the time, every time when I paint, what do you see? And they always give me these random answers. And I just think in my head like, how do you see this? Because like, I know what I painted, I know what I did, I know that that's not what I was going for. But for you to see that, that makes me realize you're bullshitting me and you're lying to me because you just, you know, make me feel good about it. Yeah, that's cool. No, I understand. That's fair. That's totally cool. But it also makes me realize that, you know, that people see things in this painting's art because their imagination tells them it, you know. So it's like, if I can tell you what it is, they're going to believe it. But if I don't tell you what it is beforehand and you just tell me what you see, you're creating the idea of what this painting is in your mind, and you're making it what it is. You're making it painting the painting. But me telling you what it is, it's not gonna make painting you creating what it is. But if I tell you what it is beforehand, say, yeah, okay, you can believe it, but you know, is it really as thoughtful as you create an idea for yourself? But that's what you see because that's your outlook on the world. That's your viewpoint. And I can understand, I can empathize with that because that's what you visualize. That's one thing I do like about painting too. Find a way to connect with people. If you have an idea and you want to create something, just create it. Don't think about it. Just go for it. Because creating is the essence of, you know, peace. It's just like cleanliness next to godliness. I think painting could be next to like peaceness or something like that. Just like meditation. It's a form of just like, you know, Zen. You know, let out your creativity, let out your expressions. Let the world know how you feel. Don't second guess it. Don't, you know, think about like, what if it's not gonna be good? What if it's not gonna be compared to saying, just, you know, just do it, you know. Don't limit yourself from creating something that could be the next masterpiece. I have this one saying that I love to, I don't know, I think I got it from Meet the Robinsons. It's nothing ventured, nothing gained. And you know, nothing that you ever ventured, you won't know what you learn from it unless you actually go for it and do it. So, you know, go out there, kids. Hello, my name is Romain. You are now watching an episode of Dream Bird. Tune in, like, subscribe. It's a wonderful show where you will explore your wonderful thoughts of the world. And we are here to bless you with the blissfulness that is creativity in arts.